I would go as far as to say is more than one of them had a cane at any given time, because at one point, it was just a thing to be a dude in an R&B group and have a cane. I bought one for my brother for Christmas one year. I was like, it was a rite of passage for just a young black dude at the time. Hey, brother, you know you need a cane. And he might still have it. I just saw him yesterday. I should have asked.
I pray to God you kneeled when you handed it off to him. I want that more than anything.
Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me,
the podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove that Kyla Pratt did in fact sacrifice her television father Flex Alexander's career to the Black Illuminati in exchange for eternal youth.
It sounds right to me. I'll be honest, that sounds exactly right. Kyla Pratt has not aged a day since 1991.
She looks amazing.
She looks fantastic, and something had to have happened. You can't
Where's
be
Flex?
The same girl from Love and Basketball forever.
Where's Flex? He was on a rocket ship to the moon. I haven't seen him since.
You know, he was in, if I'm remembering correctly, he was in Snakes on a Plane, if I'm not mistaken.
Who was
showed up briefly in that.
I was in Snakes on a Plane briefly. That's no barometer for success.
This easily could have been a Flex Alexander hologram that or Washington. Which one was he? Was he Washington or Alexander?
Flex Alexander, I believe he was Flex Washington on the show one-on-one.
Why do that? Why not pick a full different name if you're going to be in a multicam on UPN? Why commit so hard?
I think that you want the name Flex is what's going to travel. Alexander Washington, it's all very interchangeable, but Flex is what they want us to remember.
He said, Alexander is my slave name, but Flex, that's...
Washington is my lesser slave name.
Washington is my chosen slave name. Yeah. If I have to choose a slave name, I want the best slave owner, i.e. Washington.
No, they had Dental, the Washingtons. It was a good family.
Yeah, it was a solid family. Solid slave owner. Shout out to the slave owning Washingtons. If you're still out there, hell yeah, you got it, baby. You're the best.
What are we, 1 minute in? All right. I'm David Borey.
And I'm your co-host, Langston Kerman. We're so happy to be here with you. We're talking shit about apparently Flex Alexander and Kyla Pratt and George Washington a little bit, but less so him for some reason. But our guest today, I would dare to say that he hasn't owned any slaves, nor would he. Well, I think he'd go so far. Okay, maybe he would. He's not certain. He's wavering on the subject, but he's such a funny comedian, hysterical. You've seen him in so many things. Specifically, he is a writer, producer for The Great North on Fox. So fucking funny. Please give it up for our guest, Mr. Kevin Avery.
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Hey. We're excited you're here.
I'm going to go no on the slave owning.
Damn.
I'm going to make that official. Yeah.
Okay.
It just feels...
Put it on wax.
Yeah. I'm going to be trying to be on the right side of things. You know, I feel like slave owning is a dangerous precedent to start to put out there now.
Yeah.
It would be a weird way to start the episode and expect people to eventually be on your side.
And then just ride with me. I would go back to the part where he said he'd own slaves.
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
I'd own slaves, but
Yeah. None for me.
So
I'm good.
So no to slave owning, and that's fine. To each his own, is what I always say. But you came to us this week with a conspiracy theory, and I say you, but the truth is this is a bit of a unique episode because you did not, in fact, come to us with this conspiracy theory. You came to us with an open heart. You said, if you fellas have something you want to discuss, I am more than open to taking that on. I'm not
Right.
afraid of what possibly could come down the pipeline. And then Bori immediately raised his hand. He could not have raised his hand faster, Kevin.
Yeah.
I want you to know how quickly this happened. Unbelievably fast, he raised his hand with a conspiracy theory that I would argue is maybe the most unfounded thing that we are going to take on in this conversation ever.
That's crazy.
Wow. Okay. Already starting with the. I'm going to say this on the, and you haven't said it yet. This was a theory that I definitely was riding with for a minute.
Thank you.
For a minute, and then I really thought about it.
But I mean, I just want to note that we're 5 minutes in. Langston has already positioned me in the position of the buffoon, of the madman, of the wild card.
Wow.
I just want that
spicy episode. My God. Okay, so now,
all right.
Now there's a hierarchy being formed. Have
I
walked into some unsettled shit that
for me personally, this goes back to before grade school. This is a lifelong.
I can't wait. I mean, I will say this too about the theory you chose. It hit me right here. Right here.
He's pointing to his heart, not.
I know that you have skin in the game personally. That's why I chose it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
Let us not linger any longer. Let us not leave our audience with bated breath. The conspiracy theory that was presented, it was my mama told me.
Light-skinned people are good at R&B.
Boom.
Let's unpack it, fellas.
Boom.
David, this is yours. This is your baby. I'd love for you to kick us off.
I just have felt throughout, and I don't listen. First of all, I personally do not think that light-skinned people are better than dark-skinned people at R&B. I think that it's even.
Whoa.
Oh, wait.
I think there's been a lot of dark-skinned erasure in the R&B game in general. Just like I think, quite honest, there's been a lot of fat erasure in the R&B game as well.
I'd agree.
Because we all remember Woody from Drew Hill. What happened? Or Jazz. What happened?
Jazz was the heavier one.
Last of the thick kings, as far as could sing.
Ruben
stuttered, but that was not. Ruben stuttered wasn't making like panty dropping.
He tried. Well, he had a small window.
He had a moment. He did.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry for 2004. That was not.
Yeah.
Sexy.
I mean, here's what I'll say is that Ruben really, he tried a little bit of everything that is the formula of R&B. He apologized. He made love, and he walked in the rain, and none of it seemed to satisfy the missing piece, which was us looking at Ruben Studdard and being like, yeah, I'll buy that album. Yeah, I'll take what you're giving me, big dog.
You beat Clay Aiken, big deal.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he did. Did he win?
I don't know.
Yes, Ruben Studdard did win.
He did win, yeah.
Clay Aiken got second place and now is running for governor, I believe.
I don't know what office he's run for. I know he's been a politician for some time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But back to this. Back to what really matters. The hard-hitting stuff. I've just felt like my whole life there's always been this like light-skin predisposition to sexy stuff. And then dark-skin, weak-eyed. Like, I didn't want to play offensive line. Part of that might have been a weight thing, yeah. But, like, all the DBs, light-skinned. Dareem Allo, I remember him specifically. Basically white.
And I'll say this, no one's ever asked me to play offensive line, and I have to assume that's because of the color of my skin.
It's never even crossed their mind. Like, did you play power forward ever?
No.
Of course not.
No. Was it because I was smaller than everybody else and had to play point guard? I don't think so. I think it's probably because I'm light-skinned. That makes more sense.
Has anybody ever come up to you and been like, you seem like you could sing?
They haven't, but Also, I had my voice the whole time.
Double E for me. That's never happened to me.
Kevin, please jump in here.
I've had a weird thing where a couple times white women have been like, I want to hear you sing. I bet you could sing. And I'm like, well, who? I know I didn't say I could sing.
Right.
I didn't really put that out there. I mean, not back when this was happening a lot. But yeah, that's definitely, and I'll say this. I did play linebacker when I played football in junior high.
Whoa.
That's a multi-purpose position, though. That's anybody can be a linebacker.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And also, I was I was the only black kid in the school at the time, aside from my brother. So, I mean, they went with the darkest one so I guess I'm proving your point a little.
I'm saying
because I tried out for wide receiver, and I did not get that.
No, they were like, we need him at a tough guy position.
Yeah.
You also, I know this about you. You were in an R&B group.
I was. Yes.
Oh my gosh! Hold on, wait a minute.
Well, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's
how they.
This is, if nothing else, helping David towards his point. So please tell us more about this R&B group you were a part of.
Look, I didn't say we were good, but we.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
We were all right, and I'm gonna say we were called For Now, and
with the 4.
With the number 4 and Now, and even though there were 6 of us, it was a gross error.
That's so many.
It was an accident. We were mislabeled before a show, and that just was the name we stuck with. Yeah, we were, but they were like, I think there were out of the gate 3 dark skin cats and 3 light skin.
Okay,
in the group. So it went split down.
Yeah.
Center, yeah.
But now here's my question. When you were performing, I assume your group dances and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Where were the lights standing in position in comparison to the darks?
I mean, it depended. It's a group. You mix it up and stuff. I can tell you this. The first performance we did, we covered Can You Stand the Rain?
Great song.
I was in the middle.
Not a light-skinned man made that song, by the way.
He was in the middle, by the way.
I was in the middle. The 2 dark-skinned men wrote that song.
That's what I'm saying. A
lot of us wrote a lot of things.
That's a song that's almost exclusively been performed by dark-skinned people. But go ahead, finish your story.
Written doesn't count. Who wrote Freaking You? Nobody knows.
I'll say this on that song, the leads, and this is why I'm going against your theory now. The leads were all the dark-skinned dudes in the group.
Who's that, Tresvant?
In New Edition, it's Tresvant, Ricky Bell, and Johnny Gill. In our group, it was all 3 of the dark-skinned dudes sang the leads on the part.
Okay.
And the rest of us sang backup. I told everybody, hey, y'all, let's go get wet. And I did that thing. I did that in the middle of the song. And that was it. And then did a little bit some choreography and sang the backup.
Wait, so you stood in the middle and sang backup? How? This is confusing for me.
Because remember, there are 6 of us. So it's all the whole regular game plan just goes out the window. So I can't remember exactly where everyone else was lined up, but I think there was a dark-skinned dude on my left.
You were flanked by dark skins.
I was flanked by dark skin.
Almost like some type of a security detail.
Yeah. But they were trying to protect me at all costs. Protect the light skin.
You got to keep the money safe, baby.
Right. But then we it became this very interchangeable thing where we broke up and then we came together and there were only 3 of us for a minute and then there were 4 of us and so the ratio of light skin to dark skin, it kept changing.
Okay. What would you say the ratio was at your most successful?
Oh, whoa, spicy question. He's coming in hot, and I want you to be careful when you answer this because
that's such a loaded.
The gun couldn't be closer to down your throat.
What the hell, man? Look,
I'm asking the real questions here.
we were the hardest interview I've ever had to do for now, 20 some odd years later.
Address the racial disparities from your R&B group of 20 years ago.
I would say, oh shit, no, still half and half. Still half and half, because there eventually were four of us, and by then we changed the name, but it was still two dark-skinned dudes and two light-skinned dudes.
And how dark are we talking on like a scale of Langston to myself?
I mean, it was literally the dark-skinned guy. Like Ron, the other light-skinned cat, was about Langston's complexion. And then
good color.
My man Corey. See, there you go. Yeah.
You can't do that. You can do that.
I just like to hear it. I like to hear that there's somebody else out there doing it, baby.
It's all right. Yeah. Someone else making it happen.
Come
for
on,
us
man.
light skin.
Keep selling the brand.
But then my man Corey, David, he was about your complexion. Corey and Patrick. Patrick was a little younger, a little lighter than you.
Okay. People do conflate younger and lighter a lot.
Sure. I mean, the darker.
This brother is hurt today, Kevin.
Kyla Pratt.
So tell me a little bit more. You start this R&B group.
Right.
Is that the goal? Are you guys going to be like R&B superstars, or was this just like a fun? Hey,
it was. We were a dance crew to start.
Whoa.
And I'm trying to remember the ratio. Again, that was split down the middle. There were four of us in a dance crew, and then some of us in like sort of the outside crew that joined. We started singing together. But even in the dance crew, two light skinned, two dark skinned cats, and so.
And I would argue that a dance crew with black, that's Korean erasure, if you ask me. Those are Korean jobs.
They just got here. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait,
don't do that. Don't do that. That's
You're
crazy.
stealing good, fine Korean jobs.
They for the dance. They just got it. There's a bunch now, but there wasn't a bunch in like '88 of Korean dance crews, right?
Nah. I would say you're looking at. I mean, I don't know the history of the Korean dance crew. Hey, y'all about to trap me up.
Yeah, no,
y'all about to trap me up on some shit.
No, every week I finish this being really worried about the things I've said.
Yeah,
not me. I rest fine.
Langston just goes straight to sleep comfortably. But yeah, I mean. We were like this little dance crew, and then we started hanging out and singing together, and we were like, we should really take this seriously. And so we started performing together a little bit, and then we knew a guy who had some recording equipment.
Right.
And I wrote music. So I started writing some stuff. We started recording. There was another guy who kind of would produce some of the other stuff that we sang, and yeah, we just started doing it. And our goal was to kind of blow up and do the whole thing. But it just sort of fell apart. We were all from different parts of the country. We met in the South.
Okay.
And
that's
so,
a common thing.
Yeah. And so it just kind of flew apart. And also it was at a time when that was it looked like that was about to go away, that whole thing. New Edition had come in and gone. And even Belle Biv DeVoe was like, hi, bye, like in early 90s.
Right.
Yeah, but they made such a huge splash, but then they bounced. And then it was a lot of other groups that did their thing for a while, but it just felt like what we were trying to do, what we were trying to go for, it wasn't going to, go the way we wanted to.
Would you have likened yourself to like an O-Town?
No.
Or H-Town, excuse me.
I was like, O-Town.
Would you have likened yourself to maybe the worst boy band in all the boy bands? Would you say you were just fucking awful?
That was my fault. That was my fault.
It took me, I had to reload.
That was bad. That was really bad.
I would say we were, and I don't mean to, but we were very New Edition-esque. When there were the six of us, and then when the group was reduced, we had a much more Belle Biv DeVoe-ish sort of angle. I mean, there were genuine hip hop heads in the group, so I feel like no shade against Belle Biv DeVoe, but like the hip hop we were doing we were trying to, probably to our detriment. We were probably trying to be too.
Y'all were trying to rap.
We were trying to experiment with shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it didn't work.
So you were past New Jack Swing. You were like,
yeah. It was. I mean, but we played around with some of that. I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, man. I have some of the demo tapes that we did, and when I listen to that, I'm just like, who the hell let us? We had no friends. No one said, hey, y'all, come here for a second. You know what I mean?
Let me gather all 6 of you brothers around. You're making a mistake here, fellas.
Yeah, you know, some of it was good, but a lot of it was like, what the hell were we thinking?
Can you drop a couple song titles just so we?
Yeah, we had something called, and we were a group that took ourselves and everything of the moment too seriously. One song we did was called "The Experiment." And it was literally just us trying. It was that thing I was talking about. We're gonna have like a sort of like a house or a club section, and then we're gonna have like a straight hip hop section, and then we're gonna it doesn't. Music doesn't work. That music doesn't do that. It just doesn't do that, fellas. We had another song called "It's a Black Thing."
Ooh,
that was
okay.
Because that's
open it up.
We had a song called.
Wait, no. What was the black thing?
It was literally. It was just what. It's a black thing. It was. That was the phrase of the moment, y'all.
Hey, listen, David. If you gotta ask, you'll never know, buddy. It's a black thing.
I'm trying to remember the first line of my, because that was hip hop, but with like a See, this is what I'm talking about. It had kind of like an up-tempo, almost house beat, but we were rapping over it, and then it had we were singing the hook.
Damn.
There's a lot of qualifiers here.
There was a whole thing, but I think I'm trying to remember. I think that it was like, Bo knows this, Bo knows that, but Bo don't know a damn thing about the lyrics that a brother bring. I can't remember the rest of the goddamn song.
Because Inside Out is wiggity wiggity wig. What?
How'd you know? He bought our album.
He's got that demo, baby.
I'm a student of the game.
I can't. I wish I could remember the rest of it. It's thoroughly ridiculous.
Let me, before we go to break, I have to ask, because you started this episode off by saying that you did at one point believe in the conspiracy theory that Bori is laying down, and I have to know how that came to be, what you believed, and what has changed since.
Because I did look into it, and and I saw a couple of articles about like, hey, about colorism in music, and specifically why light-skinned performers do better. And the list was like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, I was thinking of Chris Brown at one point. He popped in my head.
Whitney and the Right Lighting.
Whitney. Yes. Just
some
the
of those,
right light.
Some of those, they blew her up, some of those videos.
And then the woman I'm forgetting, Alicia Keys. But then then I started thinking of all the other artists that, I mean, New Edition is mostly dark skin.
It is.
And the light skinned brothers are in the background. Like I was a Ronnie DeVoe. I was a Michael Bivins. You know what I mean? Like kind of hanging in the back, do the harmony, just wanted to play ball, Yeah, but like Neo, Akon, I think there's so many more dark skinned.
Those are some kings. You're spitting now.
Boys to Men are a dark skinned group. After 7. Yeah. I mean, here's what I think. I think what the light-skinned folks have, or what they do, is they find a way to rise above. I mean, there were 4 people in Destiny's Child. 4 people in Destiny's Child. Somehow Beyonce just went all the way. You know what I mean?
She cannibalized the whole shit.
Yeah. DeVoe. Look, every New Edition fan, male or female, will tell you the coolest cat in that group is Ronnie DeVoe. I mean, Ralph is a close second.
I was about to say, Ralph.
Ralph is a cold brother.
Cool.
I'm a Ralph man myself, but I hear you. I'm listening.
I'm a
But Ron,
Bobby guy, but I understand why that's not for everybody. I understand.
But okay, but there again, Bobby Brown, dark skinned dude, left New Edition, and then just went far beyond what they were.
Right, got
doing.
so nasty.
You know, yeah, and so I think dark skinned folks have been, putting it down in R&B for a while.
But now,
but the light skinned folks do find a way to peek through there and sometimes steal the shine.
And what would that talent be? What would you call that skill?
Again, be careful because he doesn't have good intentions for you.
What about that break? When are we going on, fellas?
I don't think you have to answer it. I'm happy to throw the break.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. I'm about to. Let me take a sip.
Yeah,
of this
go
water.
ahead and take a swig. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more
Corey's
Kevin
laughing
Avery.
too hard. He laughing too damn hard.
And more My Mama Told Me. And we are back.
Stop! Oh, stop! I can't breathe. Stop!
Yeah, we're back here. We're back with more Kevin Avery, more My Mama Told Me. We're still talking about the possibility that light-skinned people are inherently, naturally, God-given good at R&B. That drop came to us from a listener named Gary. Gary sent us that drop, and it seemed very apt to play today, given the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Something just occurred to me. I wonder if we've seen a turn in that back in the day, the birth of these all the Motown groups and stuff, if that's when the light-skinned singers really had their day.
Like, are we talking like a Smokey Robinson type?
I keep thinking about Smokey.
Right.
I don't know those groups. I don't know the lineup of those groups that well. I don't, but were the Temptations? Who were the light-skinned cats in like the Temptations?
Ain't no light-skinned
Michael
cats.
was dark.
Michael was dark. He made a choice. That don't count.
Yeah. Michael slid into light-skinnism.
Yeah, that was he learned it late in life. There were no light-skinned Temptations, I don't think.
No. I don't remember a light-skinned Pip.
I don't think there was a light-skinned Pip.
I think it was Smokey.
Smokey's the best example I think anybody can come up with, and he had light eyes, so I feel like that's a whole different type of person. What? You know what I mean?
Is that?
Yes.
I'm not qualified to speak on that. Light-skinned dudes with
light skin with light eyes feels like a different game than what I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? Michael Ealy and Boris Kodjoe are not putting the same energy out in the world.
That's fair. I think that's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. I think that's how I feel about like very physically fit dark-skinned men and myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you see Jaimin Hansu without a shirt on. That's not. Those aren't the roles I'm going for.
No, we didn't have the same opportunities laid in front of us.
No. Tay Diggs was in the theater.
I see Michael Ealy around my neighborhood semi-regularly, and I just suddenly it's just, I feel like he's my nemesis. For no reason at all. The brother's never done anything to me, but I see him and I'm just like...
Is it the eyes? They are piercing.
Yeah.
And let me break this down. I think a lot of this work came from, this is good for my personal story. I'm getting this right now. Mm. I have a play cousin who is 6 years older than me, who is light-skinned with green eyes.
Uh-oh.
Woo! And sang R&B and danced and all that the time. And we would go to the mall and shit. And people would ask if he could sing and shit like that. So I think that this may be about light-skinned people with green eyes for me.
There we go.
We also had another girl that was around us all the time, and she had blue eyes, but she was not as light-skinned as he was.
And I'm so happy, I guess, to hear you saying this, because it does feel like now we're getting to the root of where some of this feeling is coming from.
Right.
That while I'm sure there's plenty of evidence, Kevin, as you pointed out, there are some light-skinned singers and performers that populate the sort of charts as they were, there seems to me to be a pretty substantial, if not heavier, leaning ratio towards dark-skinned people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say, I don't know why I don't trust what you're saying right now, but I feel heavily on the defensive for some reason.
I took the time to look up, the list. And I do think your point about Whitney Houston and the right lighting, they probably did a bunch of stuff to make Whitney look darker, or rather lighter than she actually was in real life.
They blew up a lot of people. I mean, I think JoJo or Casey from Casey and JoJo, he's blasted with light. Like all those videos, he looks like almost light-skinned.
Now, I'll say this about Jodeci. Devontae was light-skinned, right?
Yeah.
He's light-skinned.
And he was the king of Jodeci.
He
right?
was he was the brains behind the operation.
Yeah, but fellas, how'd that work out for him?
That's true. That's true.
Devontae had a run. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not.
He had his moment.
Yeah.
He had his
let's
moment.
not sit here and down Devontae.
They put his name in the middle and then they kicked him out. What do you want? What do you want from this?
Boy. I don't think. Well, a couple of fun facts about Jodeci. There's a fifth member.
Uh-oh.
Is he fat?
I've never seen him, but he's a guy. I can't remember his name, but he was on the original demos of the songs that they recorded that they took to Andre Harrell. When they were all going to go up to New York, he was going to go with them, and his girlfriend got pregnant, and they were like, "Well, hang back, bro. We're going to go up there, take care of this business."
Oh no!
I don't know if I think, to be fair, I think he was like, "I need to stay with my girl." They were like, "Cool, we'll go handle this, and we'll send for you when it's all about to go down." But Andre Harrell was like, "I like this two sets of brothers thing. It's just going to be y'all," and that was that.
Whoa, that's heartbreaking.
That hurts.
And then the other thing is that Devontae, I believe at one point he was dating, I just thought this was the weirdest thing. He was dating the daughter of a hardcore evangelist, one of the popular ones. I think it was Jim and Tammy Faye Baker.
No, a white lady?
Their daughter. Yeah.
Devontae?
Yeah.
Yo, that guy, that's like forever cements him being a legend to me. That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
That's surreal, right? I never heard that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they were both from like Pentecostal churches. So they were,
Before you celebrate too much, I will say that is technically the formula to making a light-skinned R&B singer.
That's true.
Devontae mushing into Jim and Tammy Faye Baker's.
Did you say mushing in?
Yep. Which is another song that I think was on Kevin's demo, Mushing In.
Mushing In. No, that was one of our big.
That was an ellipses after It's a Black Thing. Mushing in.
When you're putting the album order together, you got to go, It's a Black Thing, Mushing In.
Mushing In. I'm trying to remember some of the other titles, and I can't. There was a song called Stalkin'.
Oh, no.
It was not about that. I didn't want to say it. But it was a very militant pro-black song.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not about the other thing. There was something called I wrote a lot of like romantic love ballads. I was that dude, just kind of floating around in the, there are two kinds of R&B crews. There are there's the sexy boys and the sad boys. And I felt kind of in between. You know what I mean? Like, because like you have Boys to Men.
You were more Boys to Men.
You
Yes.
were
I
Sad
wanted
Boy
to be New
Rising.
Edition. I was a Sad Boy Rising.
Yeah.
Sad Boy Rising. Yeah. I mean, like, this is the thing that fascinates me about the Boys to Men's trajectory is that they came out at the same year as Jodeci. They were before Jodeci, I believe. And they had hit their stride.
Yeah.
And then Jodeci stepped out in just them overalls and nothing else and doing the whole thing. And everyone was like, who are they? And Boys to Men were still on bended knee. Like, hey, Hello?
Yeah.
Like just to watch the audience leave Boyz II Men and go to Jodeci, it was a very interesting moment.
Well, I will say, I think Boyz II Men played it right in that, like, Jodeci took their shirts off, and then Boyz II Men were like, we'll put more sweaters on.
Yeah, we're going to wear double sweater vests.
Truly wear cardigans on top of cardigans.
Yeah.
We're not going to play this game with you little tiny buff boys.
No. Hey, look,
I don't even know if they were
Jodeci can't tie a bow tie. You know, that's a selling point. And no, they weren't buff. They were all like skinny ass dudes.
I think if it came down to it physically, Boyz II Men would give Jodeci the work. To be honest,
I don't know about that.
Wanye had that stick. Are you serious?
No, Wanye didn't have the stick. Michael had the stick.
Michael had the stick
because he needed it, because he was in crippling pain, walking around trying to sing.
Is that true?
Yeah, he had like some physical disease that like made it so that he needed the cane and then tried to be cool
I didn't know
about
he was sick. I didn't know he was sick.
So one of the things I did think to research in relation to this topic, and there isn't a lot that I felt like I could really unpack.
No, this is new territory.
Yes. The one of the things that I found is that research does show that in terms of anatomical representations in textbooks, 1.1% of the diagrams represented are dark skin tones, while 83.5% represented light skin tones.
Jesus.
Who you telling?
I mean, yeah.
I seen one guy who looked like me on TV. It was me.
You were the first in your entire life that you saw on TV that looked like you.
I mean, it was big on that episode of Martin.
Sure.
It was Rock towards the end when he got thicker. That's about it.
Damn. This is heartbreaking.
So you're talking about big dudes and dark-skinned dudes.
Big, dark.
Yeah, man. You
Faison Love.
Faison Love had a big
on
run.
The Parenthood.
Gary Anthony Williams.
Yes. On Malcolm.
Well, his big. I think his big thing was his big start was Malcolm in the Middle. Not big start,
right.
But yeah. But yeah, you're right. Not a lot of.
No.
What's his face? The dad on Family Matters.
Oh, Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow.
Lavelle Johnson, I believe was his name.
It's something Vell
Reginald Vell Johnson.
Yes, thank you.
Reginald Vell Johnson. That's it. There you go.
But there's not. I think that's where I'm coming from. Also, is that there's just not a lot of representation. So you sweep it all together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to that, researchers note in relation to this textbook theory, not necessarily to what you're speaking to, but I imagine it has some
Once again, Langston painting me in the corner.
I think there's some correlation that you could create. The researchers note that such skin color bias has a negative impact on the health outcomes of people with dark skin tones who may avoid or delay sexual education opportunities or clinical care if they do not see themselves represented in the recommended resources.
I want it on wax. I learned about sex early.
Okay.
But the other things, that's possible.
But that's crazy.
Noted.
That if you don't see yourself, you don't then learn to see yourself.
You die.
In sex textbooks, you then will opt not towards like sexual health and responsibility, at least based on the research. And to the larger concern, if you're not seeing yourself be sexy on TV, you will then not know the language or how to apply the language of sexy in your other everyday shit.
That's facts, though. I had to go out and get it myself. You do have to like to that end. Like it was like until I had been sexually active for a bit, I had always viewed my skin as a detriment because that's the only way it had ever been like not just the lack of dark skinned people on television, but then to go to the lack of like seeing a super dark dude get a girl on TV is like seeing an Asian dude get a girl on TV. It doesn't happen very often.
Right.
But then, do you think that's potentially why, and this is a reach, like there are so many dark-skinned singers who, at some point, let's just say from the Jodeci point on, just leaned into the sexualization of themselves and their music because it was something that might not necessarily have been out there for a while. I could just remember a time when I to listen to R&B singers and being like, hey, y'all need to calm the hell down. We ain't all doing that, Usher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but because they were all doing, every one of them was like, let me tell you what I'm gonna do to you. You know, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm 19. Like, wait a minute, y'all. You know,
I'm gonna
like
choke you. Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder. That's a good question. I mean, there's always been hypersexualized black singers, though. You take it back to
Sure.
Teddy Pendergrass only did concerts for women for a while, right?
Oh, that's right.
Wait,
And
so
he
that was a
was-
rule he made that like you couldn't come to his concert if you weren't a woman?
Well, that was his manager, Shep Gordon, being like, I believe it was Shep Gordon. Somebody can quote me if I'm wrong. But that was his manager being like, that's what we lean into 100%. 100%.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
think it was like an invite thing. Like, if you're a man, you could come, but what
This
are you
ain't
doing
for
there?
you.
Yeah.
What do
isn't
you
for
What do you think
This
you're gonna
isn't-
do there?
Yeah.
You know?
Teddy P ain't talking to you, so
Yeah, just one brother back there, arms folded, like, all right.
okay. You
I
warned
get
me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I guess the question that I sort of have, Bori, and I'm
To me.
directing this one at you, but Kevin, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Mhm.
Is given what we know now, are you starting to at least reconsider statistically the difference, but consider the possibility that this is more about treatment inside of it than it is about the actual statistics of light-skinned people being naturally inclined for R&B?
100%. I mean, my whole life is a journey of learning.
Uh-huh.
I'm open to that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here. I think that a lot of these things about representation, though, I think it lends people to telling young people which direction to move in because of representation, where it's like if you're more inclined, maybe the visibility is there, but you're still more inclined to think that this is this type of thing for this type of person. I
Right.
think that is the type of thing that children internalize a lot.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean.
I think definitely that is the case.
Absolutely. I mean, look, the whole reason I'm in a singing group is because when I was a kid, my mom saw New Edition on TV and was like, look at these little kids singing. And I was like, oh, so little kids can do this.
Right.
Shit. Well,
Right.
I mean, that's exactly how it happened. That's the only reason I got excited about someday doing that. So yeah, I think, but I just wonder, because yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think, clearly it seems like there are more dark-skinned singers, popular dark-skinned singers, than there are light-skinned. And I just wonder.
And that was the whole reason I brought this up. You're not trapped in here with me. I'm
Okay.
trapped in here with you, or vice versa.
Yeah,
was
no,
the whole-
it's the other way. You want it the
Yeah.
other way around,
Yeah.
bro.
You're not
trapped
the
in here with
victim.
me.
I'm the victim. I'm the prisoner. Ta-da! I
Oh,
do
man.
think to that larger point, there is a weird association, even as a light-skinned person, now that we are clearly the victim in this story.
Yeah.
As a
Classic
light-skinned
behavior.
person, it is that weird thing of people being like light-skinned R&B singing motherfucker. And it's like, dog, it's only like 3 of us,
Yeah.
and one of them is I'll Be Sure. Like,
Yes.
we're not hitting great numbers here.
Yeah.
Truly, John B was a white man. He scammed y'all.
What?
Like,
Really?
Mhm.
yeah, he's not even,
Yeah, he was
he's
white.
not black.
He had
He
that
just
yellow.
had a lineup.
Whoa, wow.
He had that
You're
yellow
looking at-
fleece.
Nah,
brother.
big dog.
Bruh,
Oh.
bruh.
All for
Did he have a
one.
song with Tupac?
That song, that group, All for One. Those were white guys. Those weren't black
I
dudes.
thought they were Asians.
Even better.
I thought they were Asian.
All for One was Asians.
I think don't quote me on it, but I think they were Asian. I at one point thought New Kids on the Block was black because I heard that
Right.
when I heard that Please Don't Go Girl and little Joey McIntyre singing that falsetto, I just assumed black. First of all, there were no white kids. There were no white guys out there doing that at the time. So I just
Right.
was like, another singing group,
Right.
black kids. And then I saw him and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, not at all. In fact, one of them is at least the brother to a deeply racist man who's now become a lovely, I guess,
Yes.
actor and household name. Who knows?
That's what I hear. Yeah. It's word on the street.
God.
But the
That's right.
point is, I think that some of this is a little bit coming from our expectations of each other more
Right.
than it is our
Unfortunately
actual
so.
like knowledge of each other.
Right.
Right.
But to go even beyond that, there is a weird thing where, I mean, look, going back to the days of the Cotton Club, where in entertainment, the light-skinned folks were put out front. And so I think it's hard to sort of shake that, even if in the current, it's weird, like TV, light-skinned, music back in the day, you
Right.
know, light skin. But in between, there's been this space in between that where it's been occupied by a lot of at least music in the music world, it's been occupied by a lot of dark skinned folks.
And I think that's 100% fair and something that we can't skip past, right? Is that
Right.
there is a priority placed on light-skinned performers in a lot of different spaces, and
Especially
certainly
more visual spaces, right?
yeah,
Music,
exactly.
especially back in the day, music was a lot less visual. You know what I mean? You didn't necessarily know what KC looked like, but you didn't know what the new Aunt Viv looked like.
Exactly. There's a very intentional choosing of who will become our representation, and then it would be unfair to not acknowledge that. But statistically, Luther Vandross, baby, that's the best that ever did it, and
Man,
darker than that thing.
Yep. Yeah.
man, God bless
But,
him.
I mean, I think also there's a component of a threat is more threatening when it's visual. And so on, you are going to see more light skinned, quote unquote, non threatening folks on TV. They, I think white America was able to look the other way. We're not worried about what these R&B singers are doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their thing. And so, and especially, music being as segregated as it was for a long time, it was like, sure, we ain't worried about it. And so you saw a lot of dark skinned artists breaking through and really not taking over, but just, they were everywhere. The, dark skinned artists, like you said, I don't remember light skinned dude in the Temptations or,
Yeah.
or the Pit or whatever. And so it almost is like there was a time when the dude in the skyscraper was like, let's just leave them to their own devices.
Right, let them be.
Yeah, and in a yuckier way, it also then reminds me the transformation it makes, because I think you're absolutely right. There was a period where they were just like the Four Tops, the Delphonics, the Temptations, they'll all be dark.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit. That's their stuff. And then at some point it became A&Rs figuring out a way to sell this thing, package this thing. And it doesn't feel dissimilar to like the white rapper conversation, right?
Yes.
There are not more white rappers, but the white rappers that make it get elevated in a way that makes you feel like, yo, what the fuck is happening, that makes it so that that whether he's talented or not, there's no reason this individual should be so far ahead of everybody else at his same level, caliber, whatever.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, it's similarly, and I'm not familiar with these groups, but I've heard about this. The idea that in the 50s or 60s, there would be the whoever out there, insert whatever black singing group out there doing their thing, and then they would find a white singing group.
They'd give it to the Beach
sort of
Boys
mirror what they did. Yeah, exactly. And so, well,
that happened to Chuck Berry a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, the business side of music has always figured out a way to go, all right, let's let them do their thing, and we're going to elevate our people. And, and sort of, it's what literally happened with singing groups. It's what literally happened with, I mean, there was no such thing as a boy band before 1990.
Right.
It wasn't a thing. And then New Kids on the Block showed up, and white people had never really heard of this. What is it? There were like boys in it. It's a boy band, I guess, right? And now everybody who was in a singing group is a boy band.
Right, because nobody was calling the Beatles a boy band.
Exactly.
But it's the same formula of four handsome guys. And, yeah, handsome for that time period. They're uggos to me and always will be. But handsome for that time period. got together and had women swooning over their
Right.
popular music. It's not like a foreign concept.
Right.
So
right.
so what if I'm hearing you fellas correctly, I think what we need today is
Here we
like
go.
an R&B group of like 4 ugly ass light skinned dudes.
I like this.
Okay.
Right?
I'm listening.
That's what we need to change the narrative. We need 4 maybe old, kind of busted down, like
Yeah.
because they need it.
Yeah.
Boys to Men body.
Boys to Men bodies.
Boys to Men body.
I want them to have C-section scars under their eyes. I want it to be real bad.
One's got acne, like
Oh,
adult acne, and then one's got adult braces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got to look like all the stages of Lil Wayne spread out across four men.
Maybe just, just for shits and giggles, one of them has a Bluetooth in their ear at all times.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Love
keep
that.
it alive.
Yeah,
Keep it alive.
Bluetooth. A Bluetooth.
Maybe one of those
like,
belts. You remember those belts you would wear that light up and they say with a nameplate that says your name across
well,
it?
I wouldn't wear that. This might go. This might
about.
go back to a light skinned dark skin thing.
No, come on, brother. We all
Don't
have
act like- come
nameplate
on.
belts.
I did not have a nameplate. I
We're
swear to God.
bonding here.
I
Don't
swear
you
to
dare
God, I
turn
swear to
on
God.
me.
Said we had one.
Okay. I didn't have one though. I did not have one.
I didn't either.
I
Hey,
thought about what I would program.
Hey,
for
none of us have done horrible things in our lives. We all made the
No.
perfect choice.
No, that's not. You can't do that to me because I didn't have a nameplate belt.
I think
That's not. That's
you-
not fair.
We in the middle of my civil rights speech, you went, well, I don't agree with that part. And
That's not what happened.
what an ugly choice.
I didn't have a digital nameplate belt. You can't fault me for that.
Nah, man.
I got it. I understood the look. You get a long sleeve white tee with like a wrapper on it. You do a French tuck.
A French tuck,
You have
that's
that
right.
shit?
But don't you dare call it a French tuck. Don't you go, hey fellas, here's a French tuck.
No, you can't tell people it's a French tuck.
No, but
just
you
gotta
know.
do it. I know.
I didn't know what you were talking about, and yet I knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah. I Googled French tuck not 7 days ago.
I learned it from Tan French on Queer Eye.
I somehow just knew it. I don't think
It's
that's good.
It's inherent.
Oh, boy.
It's inherent to know the French tuck. It's inherent for light-skinned people to do R&B. There are certain things
Yeah.
that are just God-made, you know?
I mean, look, I'm living proof. I did it.
We
I was
all are
in the
living
booth,
proof.
one finger in my ear,
Ooh, I love it.
the whole
See?
deal. Yeah.
You did that. Langston had a nameplate belt, and I played offensive line. There's a lot of us we're just living the lives that we're trying to break out of our boxes. You know?
Yeah, it does feel like those choose your own adventure books where you are always going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're never going to make it to the end and get in the rocket ship.
Oh, man.
Something bad was going to happen. Well, Kevin, before we wrap this thing up, and I think we nailed this episode, by the way.
I think we got it.
Oh, I think so. I think there should be a textbook written on they should just transcribe this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Put it in a museum somewhere.
Let me ask you this question, because it sounds like, was your brother a part of the group as well? Were you guys in this together?
No, he but he did a weird thing where like he then told me he had joined some group and I never got to the bottom of it. I just remember I came home for like the holidays and he was in college and he was like, yeah, they call me sexual chocolate. And I was like,
whoa.
what? Oh, okay.
You're like, college is crazy, bro.
Yeah. That's what he was like. He was very excited about that, and I didn't want to hear it. And but there we were, stuck in that moment together.
So
but I think he did it briefly, and then it was not a.
he definitely took on the R&B character, if not the actual R&B singing that you did yourself.
Yeah, I think he went through a lot of that stuff. Like he just sort of, he's like, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try this, and then he went and like immediately after college got a real job, and bought a house and got married and did all the things.
I guess the larger question,
comedy.
But I mean, that's because he got to live out his fantasy as sexual chocolate. Right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if I wasn't dumb old Langston Kerman and I got to be sexual chocolate, I'd have landed a little differently as well.
Oh, are you kidding me, bro? I'd be one of the top regional sellers of car insurance right now. You'd see my face.
Sexual chocolate would be on your name tag, though.
Yeah.
Or that would be on the plaque that they give you for making your numbers.
It would also be on my digital readout. No.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess the big question that I want to ask is any regrets about the R&B group? Where are you at in terms of the full circle? You're a grown man. You've moved on. You make great comedy now. You do all the things that are opposite of what this is. Is there any part of you that's like this shouldn't have been part of the journey?
I mean, yeah, you won Emmys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about what I wanted then, and I go, well, I'd be done by now. I think, I mean,
right.
I saw New Edition in concert like a month or two ago. They are one of the few groups that's still just out there doing it. But if our group had become successful, I think we might have had a moment and then we would have been gone. Yeah. Like a lot of groups were. And then I don't know what I'd be doing. Maybe I'd still be doing stand-up. Maybe but I think I try not to regret the trajectory, even though I overthink it a lot. I think that's part of being in this business, being an artist. Maybe I should have done this or, whatever. But I'm glad I got to live a dream for a minute, and now I'm on to doing other things and living other dreams. So
that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's a nice way for us to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. And look, if all else fails, I'm still light skinned, y'all.
Hey, there it is.
He did it. He did it. He did it.
There it is.
Timestamp. Timestamp.
That's what I needed to hear. And now I'll sleep just fine. I think we did it, y'all. Kevin, could you tell the people at home where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Yeah, you can. I'm one of those people who's on Twitter, but for some reason doesn't tweet. But I'm at Kevin Avery on Twitter if you want to follow nothingness. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram at Kevin Avery Comedy. And The Great North is on Sundays at Fox at 8:30. I think we're on hiatus now, but all our episodes are on Hulu. So go there and check out the show. And I'm even on the show from time to time. Look for my buddy Jarvis Dufresne. And yeah, that's it. I'm just out in these streets.
Hit the streets, follow Kevin, and obviously watch The Great North. And then, David, where can they find you? What you got going on?
Follow me on Instagram at CoolGuyJokes87. I sometimes post, things I've been grilling, places I go, stand-up dates. July 21st through 23rd, I'm going to be at the DC Improv. I don't know when this comes out, but I assume around then. And other than that, just hug your people. Have a good summer.
Hell yeah. Have a good summer. Hug your people. Go see David perform live. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman on all platforms. And if you want to send us your drops, your conspiracy theories, your degrading opinions about the work that we're doing, you can send it to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. All right. We did it. Bye, bitch.